we're looking at the third person in this whole saga. We're talking about no other person but Moses. So let's look at Deuteronomy 32. We read two verses. Then Moses turned and went down from the mountain with the tablets of the testimony in his hand. Tablets that were written on both sides, on the front and on the back. They were written. The tablets are the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. So let's move to verses 19. And as soon as he came near the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, Moses' anger burned out. And he drew the tablets out of his hand and broke them on the foot of the mountain. He took the calf that they had made and burned it with fire and ground it to powder and scattered it on water and made the people drink of it. What an interesting story. You know, if you look at the story we have been saying about how Aaron, the people, and the others were able to influence the children of Israel, or should we say how he was not reasonable enough to stop the madness of the children of Israel. You will now feel that, maybe Moses had other plans, or should I say solutions to what was happening. When God said, I will destroy these people and I will make from you a nation. It's funny, though the argument is not that God can do all of those things, but the Bible gave a commentary on Moses and said Moses was faithful. So whatever Moses says about God here, we believe it was correct and it was accurate. And we didn't hear Jesus saying, no, this is not what Moses did, that it's not correct, or all of those things. At least when they said he was the one that gave them manna, he said, no, it was my father that gave you manna. So, back to our story, Moses pleaded with God. And God said, God heeded his voice. You know, you see, Moses didn't understand the weight of the sins of these men. By the time he saw them, he was so angry. When I read it, I was just laughing. I was like, when God was saying he wants to destroy these people, you were busy thinking that maybe he's just trying to stretch his anger by destroying people, and then the people be laughing at them. But look at him, he was so angry that he even threw away his tablet, the word God wrote with his own hand. Such an what level of anger is that will make you to even throw away, the tablet of stone God had written? What kind of anger? But that shows you how weak human vessels are. And Moses, out of anger again, he still did not stop there. He grounded that golden calf, gave it to drink. Later on, he asked who is on the Lord's side, and he ended up killing 3,000 people. After all of these things, a plague still came from God to smote the people. What does this tell us? If he had maintained the temple with God, that, let's show mercy, let's show that God has been appeased and he wants to see how the people will be happy. If we have gone so extreme, yes, it's okay that maybe out of anger you should do one or two things, but you should control your anger. If you notice, his ministry ended because of anger. Yes, it's true that they say Moses was a meek person, all of that. We are talking about how he was able to patiently deal with these people. But his anger was the reason his ministry ended. So the idol of anger destroyed Moses' life. That was his own golden calf. Maybe he was just saying, oh, these people are worshiping the golden calf. They didn't do something that was correct and all of that. But how about him? Anger was the idol in his heart. Some of you don't know that you serve anger. Some of you is not even anger. Some of you is something else. Some of you is even the social media that I'm using to do life. When you just wake up like this, even before you say, Lord, I thank you, you will go. You will reply message. You will do this and you do this and do that. Some of you, your relationships, these are your idols. As for Moses, it was anger, and Moses didn't work on it until the day he died. In short, that was why the devil had so much guts to go and say, give me this man, it's mine. But God, out of mercy, showed mercy. God showed mercy. Anger was the idol in the heart of Moses. He could not beat it. Anytime I see a certain sin resurging in my life, I begin to fear. Because we have come a long way with God. It's not at this level that we allow one small sin, even though sin is so small, we allow sin to waste our lives. You understand? So Moses allowed the idol of anger in his heart. The golden calf only took it out. And if you notice, it continued. Look at how his ministry ended when he went to the rock. They said, oh, tell the rock to speak and water should come out. He knew that if he just speaks, they will know that God is the one doing this thing. You know. But he has been walking around with a stick. So out of anger, he gave Christ. Wow. Imagine it was really Christ that was there. And then he gave his stick on the head. But the Bible said it was a rock that was following them in the desert. So Christ, as the water of life, gave them water on that day. So not just ordinary water. It was an idea of what Christ will come to do. So anger was Moses' idol, was Moses' golden calf. And he did not work on it until his ministry ended. Maybe I and you may not have the opportunity. Maybe we're not enjoying that kind of benefit that Moses enjoyed. Maybe we too will escape, but as if it was through fire. But brothers, sisters, I want to urge you. Maybe we should shift a bit from looking at the idols in people's hearts and begin to check our own hearts. Is there any idol in your heart? Is there something that has eaten deep your devotions to God? One particular sin that every time you are asking God for forgiveness or you are praying, the sin is the one popping up. I know the devil is good at that. He'll be reminding you, you never deal with this sin, no. You never deal with this sin. If you like me doing that, you have to hear all those things. It's not as if God will not or has not forgiven you. He has. Even Moses. And Moses is a real case of God's eternal security. Moses had done everything to prove that he didn't trust God fully. That was why the devil had mouth to come and claim his body as his. But God, who secures his elect, told him that, my friend, leave this place. This one is my son. How about Joshua the high priest? He said, don't you know that this is like a firewood, a log of wood that has been taken out of fire? You know, when God saves a man, he is ready to secure that person eternally. However, we need to persevere. And many of you, the reason you will not persevere is because of idols in your heart. You may think that, the reason you are doing some things or the way you follow your man of God, the way you worship him is because of. It may not be because of what the man of God is doing or anything, but it's because of your own idol. Maybe in your heart you have this mentality of this is my this is you pride, or maybe you have this pride about certain things. You want to show people that I belong to this church. It's a happening church. I follow this pastor. It's a happening pastor. Some kind of things. You understand? So there are levels to these things, but it's the same Satan that is working. He wants to derail you from your journey. He wants to delay your growth. He knows that if he allows you to hit the kingdom of darkness so hard, more souls will come into the kingdom. So he continues to bring such a idol in your heart so that you will be derailed, so that you will not make so much impact. He may not be even concerned with your soul because he knows that you're already saved. But he wants to stop your ministry from gaining traction, from impacting much more than it should. So please, don't take that for granted. Moses took it for granted. Look at the beginning of from the beginning of his ministry, anger. From here, anger, there, anger, this, anger, that, anger. As someone said, the anger has always been in the tribe of Levi, and I agree. That was how they went to kill the whole city because they raped the daughter, the sister, And Moses continued in that, this thing, it's just not correct. So, brethren, I believe that God has helped us to come this far on the golden calf. And by God's grace, we'll still continue to talk on the subject of